Fox Sports.
We are Fox Sports. We are Arizona.
All-Star Selection Saturday, and the Diamondbacks will be well represented on the National League All-Star team at Citi Field in New York coming up. Paul Goldschmidt and Patrick Corbin are All-Stars named today to the National League squad as the Diamondbacks welcome in the Colorado Rockies for the second of a three-game set here at Chase Field. The first place Arizona Diamondbacks are on the air here on Fox Sports Arizona. Good evening from Chase Field and welcome to the broadcast. Steve Berthume, Bob Brenly along the way. Bob, it's amazing how a little starting pitching can cure all ills, both in the bullpen and in the loss column. We'll talk about that as the game wears on against the Rockies here tonight. Wade Miley on the mound against Drew Pomeranz. But the talk before the game, BB, the Diamondbacks All-Stars. Paul Goldschmidt leading the way.
Well, we're not surprised, but I think a lot of people that haven't seen a lot of the Diamondbacks this year might be surprised that we get two selections on the National League team. Paul Goldschmidt has done everything you could ask from any player at any position. It just so happens he's our run producer in the middle of the lineup, plays first base, plays great defense, just a tremendous teammate. The fact that he's leading the league in RBIs and go-ahead home runs, I think, was a major factor in his selection to this team.
He is off to a Citi Field in New York coming up to represent the National League along with Patrick Corbin, and they'll both represent proudly the Arizona Diamondbacks in the Major League Baseball All-Star Game. In fact, there's a Goldie Bobblehead Day coming up soon here at Chase Field, and the early edition has made it into our booth here, so we'll give you a shot at that as the game wears on. In the meantime, we take a break. We'll be back with first pitch coming up. Brad Reed joins us. We mentioned the starting pitching. It's curing everything in the bullpen and in the standings. The first place Diamondbacks getting some strong starting pitching. The latest on that coming up as we're set for D-backs and Rockies at Chase Field. Ram Trucks, proud partner of the Arizona Diamondbacks. And by Gila River, another proud partner of the Arizona Diamondbacks.
Well, Wade Miley and the Arizona Diamondbacks once again in their Saturday blacks as they continue this 10-game homestand. Game 2 of their 3-game series against the Colorado Rockies. Welcome back inside Chase Field. Brad Steinke with you. 24 games. That's how long the Diamondbacks went without one of their starting pitchers racking up a win. It was a combination of tough luck, a shaky bullpen, and simply some of their starters not being at their best. But that streak came to an end Wednesday in New York as Randall Delgado racked up the win against the Mets. And since then, it's been getting better. Ian Kennedy went 7 against the Mets. And then last night, Tyler Skaggs was sensational against the Rockies. 8 innings of scoreless baseball. Let's hope it's a trend that continues.
They always hear hitting is contagious, and pitching's the same way too. I mean, you see the guys ahead of you, in a series throwing really well, seeing how they're approaching, certain teams, and you want to get out there and do the same thing. And I think that's, it could definitely turn really quickly. And we got so much talent on this team and guys that really want to do well, and so I think it'll just take care of itself.
It's important for this team and for any team, the start is to go long and go the distance, try to, save the bullpen. And obviously you're not going to get that out of every day or the whole season, but at least, if you get it for one start every 7 outings, it's good.
And the last time out for Wade Miley, tonight's starter, he went over 5 innings, did not give up a run, but he did not figure in the win. Let's hope the Diamondbacks can get him one tonight as they take on the Colorado Rockies. Stay with us. Major League Baseball headed your way next on Fox Sports Arizona. Miley on the mound for the D-backs. Steve and Bob back with a call in just a bit.
Citi Field to close out the road trip. Then last night's remarkable win to open the homestand, and suddenly the Diamondbacks have won 3 straight to extend their division lead over Walt Weiss's Colorado Rockies to 3.5 games. Dodgers are right there as well. Dodgers right now about to lose in San Francisco. And Walt Weiss's team may be on that same path here against the Diamondbacks tonight. Let's take a look at the Rockies starting lineup. It's brought to you by Safelite Auto Glass.
A little different look tonight. Josh Rutledge at the top, Jonathan Herrera in the 2 spot. Carlos Gonzalez, the biggest change, was out last night with a strained upper back. Michael Kadire headed to the All-Star game at Citi Field later this month. Nolan Arenado at third base. Todd Helton, the veteran, back in at first base tonight. Yorvit Torrealba doing the catching. Tyler Colvin in center field. And Drew Pomerantz, the left-hander, on the mound for the Rockies.
Wade Miley for the Diamondbacks. His last start, Monday's series opener against the Mets. And it's a start that has to be looked at, Bob, as another step forward for Wade. Nothing in the win column to show for it, but against the Mets, he allowed 6 hits in 5 2/3 scoreless. Walked 4, struck out 7. Got the loss in his start previous to that at Washington, despite pitching well in that game. So he's sort of been, getting back on track here lately.
Starting to look much better. The only red flag in his last outing against the Mets was the 4 base on balls in 5 2/3, something Wade definitely has to cut down on.
Got to keep it on the ground and avoid the bases on balls. Josh Rutledge will lead it off. We're underway at Chase Field on a Saturday night in Arizona. Rutledge at .221 on the year, does have 6 home runs and 16 RBIs. 1-1. Rutledge 0 for 3 with a strikeout last night. Little different look to Walt Weiss's lineup tonight. This is just Rutledge's 4th start in the leadoff spot this year.
Kind of surprised Walt Weiss no Willeen Rosario tonight behind the plate or anywhere on the field for that matter. He's 5 for 11 lifetime against Wade Miley with a home run, but Torey Alba gets the nod behind the dish.
And they do have Cargo, the All-Star, back in the lineup after he had to leave a game over the weekend, or I should say earlier this week, tweaking his back against the Dodgers. Here's the 2-2. Good start for Wade Miley, 1 away. Defensively, same lineup for Kirk Gibson 2 nights in a row. This is not something we see a whole lot of, but it ain't broke.
Not very often. Back-to-back lefties, which precipitated this lineup. Cody Ross, A.J. Pollock, Gerardo Parr, left to right across the outfield. Prado, Gregorius, Hill, and Goldschmidt once again third to first across the infield, and Miguel Montero behind the plate for Wade Miley.
There's A.J. roaming center field. He's back at the leadoff spot. Jonathan Herrera, first pitch, line to Didi. 2 quick outs on 6 pitches for Wade Miley.
Left fielder, number 5, Carlos Gonzalez.
And here's a big return for the Rockies. Carlos Gonzalez, an all-star and having an all-star year, leading the National League, 23 home runs, 62 RBIs. That puts him 9 behind league leader Paul Goldschmidt. He is out in front and runs scored, leading the league in slugging, behind only Michael Kadire in OPS. He has had a sensational season. Matchup of all-stars here after the team was announced earlier today. Patrick Corbin and Paul Goldschmidt going for the Diamondbacks. Rockies have 3 all-stars in Carlos Gonzalez, Michael Kadire, and Troy Tulowitzki. Tulo right now on the DL, but there's still a chance they say he could be back before the break. Cargo lines that one hard to right. 2-out single for Gonzalez. These are the Colorado Rockies All-Stars, and no East Coast bias here. The voters got it right with these 3 guys.
Tulowitzki voted in at the shortstop position. Gonzalez also voted in. Michael Kadire certainly deserving of an all-star berth this year. The Rockies this year, like throughout most of their history, all about the offense. They're either going to bludgeon you on the way to a win, or their pitching staff's going to let them down. They're going to lose. That's just the way it works in Colorado.
And Kadire, the all-star, certainly a big part of that. Second in the league in hitting at .342. Just behind the Cardinals, Yadier Molina. Second in the league in slugging. First in OPS. What a season he's had here at the age of 34. Although the Diamondbacks and Tyler Skaggs did a good job last night of holding Kadire to a 1 for 3. No easy task considering the way he has swung the bat this year. People still buzzing, Bob, about what Tyler Skaggs did here last night.
Yeah, rightfully so. Not quite as dominating as he was against the Rangers earlier this season, but even more efficient because of his use of that straight changeup. Against the Rangers, he was basically a 2-pitch guy, fastball, curveball. Had both of those working last night with the addition of that straight changeup.
And so they look to Wade Miley to continue that trend and try and give the bullpen essentially another day off. Martin Prado at third. They go the short way. That's the inning. Diamondbacks erase the 2-out single. Bottom 1 coming up from Chase Field. Steve, as they extend their National League West lead, 3.5 over the Rockies. The Dodgers just lost to the Giants, so San Francisco picks up a game. Padres now bringing up the rear in the National League West, and the Diamondbacks set to face this young left-hander on the mound for the Rockies. This is Drew Pomeranz.
Pomeranz, somewhat similar to Tyler Skaggs in the repertoire that he features. At times can hit the mid-90s with his fastball. His velocity's been down a little bit this year. Big sweeping curveball, straight changeup. See his numbers in his loss to the Giants last Sunday.
And this is the lineup that will face Drew Pomeranz for the Arizona Diamondbacks. It's brought to you by Safelite Auto Glass.
Pollock, Hill, Goldschmidt at the top once again. Montero, Ross, Prado in the middle. Parra, Gregorius, and Miley bring up the bottom of the order. Where the top of the order has really been carrying the team recently. The last 3 wins, the top 3 guys in the order carrying a .409 batting average. They've scored 7, driven in 7.
And last night it was A.J. Pollock leading the charge. A big night to open the homestand. A triple, a double, 2 for 3. He scored 3 times. There is the 1 through 3 hitters. Pollock, Hill, Goldie last night and recently. Getting it done at the top of the order and setting the tone. And AJ now with 15 runs scored in 21 starts as the leadoff man. He's at .257 on the year. 6 home runs and 24 RBIs. Drew Pomeranz just 1 start in the big leagues this year. You saw the numbers earlier. That was Sunday at Coors Field against the Giants. 4 1/3, 4 runs, 7 hits, and 4 walks. Gave up a couple of home runs as well through 92 pitches. And afterwards, Pomeranz called the start disappointing. Said his command wasn't what it has been. This is a 24-year-old lefty with a lot of promise, but he's yet to show that he can be a reliable big league starting pitcher. He's had a few chances here with the Rockies so far in his young career.
They're going to be very patient with Drew Pomeranz. They're going to give him every opportunity to become a contributing member of this rotation. They traded Ubaldo Jimenez, who at the time was their best pitcher, to the Cleveland Indians to get this guy.
Now, Pomeranz was drafted 5th overall by the Tribe in 2010. Never played a game for Cleveland in the big leagues. As Bob mentioned, part of the package sent to Colorado for Ubaldo, August of 2011. In fact, the Indians traded their top 2 pitching prospects at the time. Making a bold move for a guy they thought they could turn into a #1 starter. The Rockies had long since given up ever fixing Ubaldo's mechanics. Too many moving parts there. And you can see what he's done in the big leagues. Rockies got Pomeranz and Alex White, among others, in return. White had been Cleveland's first-round pick the year before Pomeranz. He was traded to the Astros after last year for Wilton Lopez. A.J. Pollock, this is what leadoff hitters, Bob, I'm told, are supposed to do.
Oh, absolutely. See as many pitches as possible. We talk all the time about those advanced scouting reports. But the best scouting report you can get is if your leadoff hitter goes up there and makes that opposing pitcher throw everything he has in that first at bat of the game. You take that right back to the bench with you.
And he's run it full 3-2. And now Pomeranz will have to throw at least 10 pitches to deal with A.J. Pollock, with Aaron Hill and Paul Goldschmidt coming up. Driven to center field. Tyler Colvin backing up in front of the wall. He's at the track, and he's got it for a loud out #1. A.J. gave that a ride to dead center. Boy, he's really hit the ball well lately.
Yeah, he's finding that barrel with a lot of pitches, and I think a lot of it has to do with the lengthy at bats. The more pitches you see, the better your timing is going to be. Put Pomeranz in a predictable fastball count and hit it hard, unfortunately just to the wrong part of the park.
Aaron Hill, 307, 3 homers and 11 RBIs. Aaron 2 for 4 last night, double he drove into.
Good news on the out-of-town scoreboard already in the National League West. The Giants beat the Dodgers today 4-2, and the San Diego Padres continue their free fall. They drop another one to the Nationals 5-4 today.
You buying the Dodgers?
I'm going to withhold judgment. Still got to play a long second half of the season. A lot of things can go right, a lot of things can go wrong. Although Yasmiel Puig went 0 for 4 today with 4 strikeouts.
That's it. He's off the All-Star
He's
team.
done.
We'll get to that over the course of the broadcast. Aaron has really hit Rockies pitching well over the course of his career. 1-out walk. And here comes the National League's RBI leader.
First baseman, number 44, Paul Goldschmidt.
Congrats, Goldie and Corbin, All-Star game. Goldie 2 more RBIs last night to open the homestand. National League lead now at 71. He's got back-to-back 2-hit games at .304 on the year with 20 home runs. Chance to put Pomerantz on the rope early here, right out of the gate. Paul's 20 home runs, 4th in the National League. He's trailing Carlos Gonzalez, Dominic Brown, and Pedro Alvarez. Alvarez hit another one today for the Pirates.
You know, last night we were talking about Paul Goldschmidt and his amazing ability to get teammates on the plate, whether it's with a drive to the seats, a line drive in the gap, or, as is the case more often than not, just a simple single up the middle of the field. And I compared him to Miguel Cabrera.
Yeah.
Went home last night, watched the highlights, and Miguel Cabrera with the runner at third hit a 99 hop ground ball right over the mound, trickled into center field for an RBI base hit. Run producers find a way to get guys on the plate.
And this is a situation in which Goldie has excelled, Bob. Down 0-2 in the count immediately. And now so often we've seen it this year, he works it back even and sometimes full. This is Paul last night. Just fights it off, delivers a run.
Little jam shot floater into center field. Now this one struck a little better. Line drive just absolutely froze Tyler Colvin in center field. Shot over his head all the way to the wall in center.
Goldie 10th in the league with a .381 on base percentage. And he's 4th in both slugging and OPS. And he's an All-Star. Roll to second. Rutledge, Herrera, Hilton. They turn the double play. That's the inning. We're through one at Chase Field. No score. D-backs and Rockies. Puig, the Cuban Bo Jackson, and perhaps All-Star, had a rough day. That leads into our AT&T Twitter poll question. Has Puig earned an All-Star spot? Hashtag FSAZ in front of either yes or no, and tweet your vote to @FoxSports Arizona. Just for the record, this is what Yasiel Puig has done so far this year. The key number is at the top. Bob, he's only played in 31 games.
Yeah, it's a real tough call, and it's going to be a tough decision for Bruce Bochy or the fan voting. However, he ends up working his way onto that All-Star team if he does. Somebody brought up a good point, though. If you're going to consider Puig, you also have to consider Hanley Ramirez, who spent most of the first half on the DL, but since his return to the Dodgers lineup, he has posted very similar numbers to Puig.
And don't forget Gerardo Parra. Nolan Arenado popped up to short. One away, Didi's there. So here's your final five of the National League. Ian Desmond, Freddie Freeman, Adrian Gonzalez, Hunter Pence, or Yasiel Puig. Fans, you determine the final roster spot. Vote at MLB.com. That vote ends coming up on Thursday. And, of course, the All-Star Game July 16th only on Fox.
Now, one major advantage that Puig has over those other four gentlemen is the fact that his name is in the headlines of the paper nearly every day. Outside of the nation's capital, you rarely hear Ian Desmond's name mentioned. Same thing for Freddie Freeman of the Atlanta Braves.
The veteran Todd Helton ahead 2-0. There's a strike. Helton is hit in 4 straight games. And how about this? He has been a Diamondback killer over the years. It's been a long career for Todd Helton. 39 years old. He'll turn 40 in August. His contract is up at the end of the year. They're not sure where he fits in. He's not sure either. He has indicated that it might be his final season, but hasn't committed one way or the other.
If you talk to a lot of people close to the Rockies organization, I think there's a groundswell of opinion that they're hoping that it might be Todd Helton's last season. Now, of course, he's been a cornerstone of this organization since he first got to the major leagues, but they're looking for a place for Willeen Rosario to land. Behind the plate doesn't appear to be his niche, and if Todd Helton goes away, that would open a spot at first base for the Rockies' other catcher.
He draws a one-out walk from Wade Miley. First walk issued tonight by Miley. Behind the plate tonight for Colorado, your Vitor Alba. We saw Willeen Rosario start last night's series opener. Here's Torey Alba at .299 and 9 RBIs. Usually we see him behind the plate with Jorge De La Rosa on the mound, but De La Rosa started the series opener last night. It was Rosario, and those two did not exactly gel.
No.
It was a little bit of a rough go there.
It was a labor. Rosario had to make several trips to the mound to try to get on the same page with his left-hander, but it was quite a game last night for those two.
Ooh, close there on the veteran Helton. Dale Scott says he's back in time. A little shuffle step back there.
I don't think Helton was going anywhere, but just kind of got caught in between strides trying to get back into the base at first and very nearly got tagged out. Now, there was a time you had to keep a close eye on Todd Helton.
Martin Prado smothers that one. They get the force of Helton, and they roll the double play. The Diamondbacks get Helton and Torey Alba, and they get Wade Miley out of the second inning. Martin Prado pounced on that one at third. They get the force on Helton. Aaron Hill turns it, and they roll it. Bottom two on the way, no score. Diamondbacks offering a chance to catch a game from the RamTrucks.com pool. Look for specially marked packages of Pepsi 12-ounce cans for a chance to find the limited edition D-backs can. Pepsi, live for now and come hang with us at the pool, the RamTrucks.com pool area here at Chase Field. An air-conditioned comfort. It's only 108 outside, so why would you need a pool?
Yeah, good time to enjoy a game from that pool. Stay cool, watch the Diamondbacks do their thing.
And we'll start it off with Miguel Montero in the Arizona second against Drew Pomeranz. There is the RamTrucks.com pool area. Great place to hang out. You got a whole locker room back there. You bring your clothes, a change of clothes, your suit, your sandals, towels. They got everything for you back there. And food. There's Miggy, 1 for 4 last night, and there were 227 on the year. 5 homers and 28 RBIs.
Yeah, only 1 hit on the ball game last night for Miggy, and that was an infield hit. But his first at bat in the ball game, he hit a rocket right at shortstop Josh Rutledge, who was playing short last night. Took a low fastball and hit a line drive that never got more than about 4 or 5 feet off the ground, right at the Rockies shortstop.
Miggy strikes out to open the second. 1 down. First strikeout for Drew Pomeranz. Walt Weiss says Pomeranz has good stuff. He can get some strikeouts, get some swings and misses, as we just saw. But the issue has been consistency and efficiency. Walt Weiss says he needs to get himself into better counts, get ahead of hitters, and that's been a problem.
Well, we saw that in the first at bat of the ball game. A.J. Pollock saw a boatload of pitches. Pomeranz just couldn't put him away. Got ahead of Paul Goldschmidt 0-2 right away. He worked his way back in the count before hitting into that double play.
Cody Ross.
A lot of times when a pitcher comes up from the minor leagues with a reputation of having stuff, a lot of guys do, they need to figure out how to use that stuff, how to be more efficient with that stuff.
That one is driven to right center, and that one will get down. And it's into the RamTrucks.com pool area. Ground rule double. That's the 11th double this season for Cody. See you go out there and you join us at Chase Field. Someone might hit a baseball right to you. Right into the buffet over there.
Well, really good to see. We've talked throughout the first half of the season that we've been waiting on Cody Ross to start pulling the ball with some authority. This is an even better sign. Hitting the ball the other way with authority. Barreled that one up to the gap in right center. One hops up into the buffet. Watch out.
Dude, there's a beverage here. He lost his beer and he didn't get the baseball.
Get the ball.
Nice going. All right, good time had by all. The RamTrucks.com pool area. And an RBI chance for Martin Prado. Haven't seen Martin go high Sox in a while, come to think of it.
It's been a while. We kind of put the sock mystery on the back burner. But,
well, frankly, he stumped us.
Yes, he did.
I think we just admitted defeat. But it's back on again. 252 on the year and 7 home runs. A little more pop from Martin lately.
Yeah, we've seen a lot of that lately, especially on high fastballs. Real good high fastball hitter, but he's tomahawked a few of them out of the ballpark. Narrowly missed one last night.
Yeah, Prado 2 homers in his last 10 games, batting .359 over his last 10, and he has really come around lately. I think, Bob, going to Atlanta and being part of Chipper Jones's retirement ceremony were there last Friday, and I think that maybe gave him some closure on the trade.
I think you're absolutely right. He's just looked much more relaxed, much more aggressive at the same time.
How do you look relaxed and aggressive?
Well, I just, when he lets the bat go, the swing has been aggressive. He's played a very relaxed game, as he showed defensively there, turning that double play to end that second inning. But he just seems, like you said, at peace with himself now. He's got that whole Atlanta thing tied up in a box and put in the back of the closet. Now it's time to establish his legacy here in Arizona.
Yeah, I think you're right on the money. It's not that he was, maybe he was a little defensive here, or not afraid to make a mistake, but just he wanted to make a good impression.
Well, and he was well aware of, who he was traded for. And
sure.
Always want to make the trade look good.
He's ahead 3-1. Josh Rutledge at second, Cody Ross to third, 2 down. A reminder, fans, every time a Diamondbacks player hits a home run this season, Fulton Homes donates $150 to the Central Arizona Mountain Rescue Association. Gerardo Parra 0 for 4 to begin the homestand last night, but 6th in the league in hits, top 20 in the league in hitting. And he's in there at .297.
Occasionally against a left-handed pitcher, Gerardo Parra looks to bunt, which wouldn't be a bad move right now. You know, you want to get that runner home from third somehow. Right side of the infield playing very deep.
Yeah, Rutledge is back at second, almost on the edge of the right field grass. This was, of course, Gerardo Parra's bunt double at Citi Field Sunday. The first bunt double in Diamondbacks history. It just kept rolling away from Daniel Murphy.
Thing of beauty.
And it's nice, Bob. How big a luxury is it for Kirk Gibson to not have to worry about sitting G against lefties, because he does pretty well against left-hand pitching.
He does. He hangs in there tough. I mean, obviously, he's going to struggle against the best lefties in the game. Everybody does. But yeah, he gives you a good at bat against a left-handed pitcher, and that bunt, I think, is going to become more and more a part of his arsenal. He's a good bunter.
And Cody Ross too far off of third, but Arenado couldn't get back in time for Torrealba to throw it down there. They might have had a play on Cody. Cody wandered a little too far from home here.
It's always tempting for a catcher to try to pick down there at third base with a left-handed hitter. Torrealba has a clean shot to throw down there, but the runner is right in your line of fire trying to get the ball to the third baseman.
1-2 to Gerardo Parra. Pomerantz, we mentioned how Walt Weiss wants him to be a little more efficient. He's thrown 33 pitches now, only 19 for strikes. And this is the script that gets him into trouble. So A.J. Pollock at the top of the order grind out a nice at bat. Gerardo Parra in the 7th spot doing the same thing here. Cody making a lot of noise. He's trying to get Pomerantz to balk at third. He is just basically tap dancing on that third base line, trying to distract Drew Pomerantz.
Well, with Arenado playing well off the line over in the hole between third and short, Cody can come way down that line. He came almost halfway down the line trying to get Pomerantz to balk out there.
And he had been almost jumping up and down prior to the shot you just saw. 3-2 to Parra. 2-out walk. Diamondbacks have something going here with 2 down, first and third. And here comes Didi Gregorius. Second walk issued by Pomerantz. Didi looked good at the plate last night. Pair of singles in 3 at bats, scored a run. And Bob, how big was that for Didi to kind of show us what he can do against the lefty in De La Rosa?
I thought it was a great game for Didi last night. He really stayed on the ball well, used the middle of the field. Occasionally he gets a little pull happy, but last night was just letting the ball get deep in the zone, using a nice quick swing, drove it right back up the middle of the field twice.
Yeah, the first time against De La Rosa, just a bullet right back up the middle. Ross at third, Parra at first. Didi has started to regain some offensive consistency lately. He's done well this season against the Rockies, that's for sure. Last 11 games, 10 starts overall. He's hit .270. He's ahead here, 2-0. And this is exactly what Walt Weiss said Drew Pomerantz can't do.
Especially against the lefties in the lineup. It's understandable that Pomerantz might try to pitch carefully to Aaron Hill and Paul Goldschmidt and Cody Ross, the right-handers that could hurt him with one swing of the bat. But he's supposed to put the lefties away.
No, Pomerantz didn't make the big league club coming out of spring training. He admitted he was frustrated that he just had to go down in the first place, but then realized he had some things he needed to refine and mature a little bit. And he said he learned in AAA to start pitching more instead of just going out there and throwing and hoping he had something that day. He's behind Aditi 2-0. Make it 3-0.
Now we know Gibby likes to turn his hitters loose 3-0, but I think this is one case where you have to make Pomerantz throw at least one strike in this at bat, if not two. Well, he swings away anyhow.
Matt Williams directing traffic at third. Cody Ross at third after a double. Parra at first after a 2-out walk. Bases loaded. 3 walks now. Given up by Drew Pomerantz. And that's not going to make that man happy.
Good grinding at bat by Didi right there. You can see the pitch count for Pomerantz already. There for Didi Gregorius, he started this season 0 for 9 with runners in scoring position. Since then, he's 10 for 32. That's a .313 batting average. Really turned that particular aspect of his game around.
Jim Wright to the mound for a visit, the pitching coach. We should mention Wade Miley does have a home run this year. He hit a homer in AT&T Park in San Francisco. The first starting pitcher ever to homer in that ballpark from the left-hand batter's box. Wade got another base hit with that bat, then broke the bat and says, I haven't had a hit since. Gave the broken bat to a young fan in D.C. So it's Ross at third, Parra at second, Gregorius at first. 2 down. Here's Wade Miley. First pitch strike, 0-1.
A new twist there for Wade on that first delivery from Pomerantz. Kind of had his fingers twitching on the bat there, trying to keep a very relaxed grip. He's apparently seen a hitter do this.
Is that how they learn it?
Yeah.
And he fights it off and drops it down the left field line. That's a fair ball. Cody Ross scores. Here comes Gerardo Parra, and they wave Didi Gregorius. The Rockies throw it around the infield, and look at Wade Miley, everybody. It's 3-0 Diamondbacks. A 3-run double. That's how they do it in Louisiana.
Whatever you're doing, Wade, keep it up. Drew Pomerantz fastball knee high down the middle of the plate. That slashing swing produces a line drive down in the left field corner where Cargo had all kinds of issues with that ball. Matt Williams took one last look, decided to wave Didi on around the corner. Throw way offline to home plate, and his teammates love it.
And Drew Pomerantz issues a pair of 2-out walks, then gives up a 3-run double to the pitcher. A.J. Pollock flying to center his first time up. Wade's even got the running gloves in his hands.
He's got to get him one of those oven mitts that Gerardo Parra wears to protect his throwing hand.
Oh, you know, those guys are not happy with what they're seeing. And that's the inning. But a double and a pair of walks set up Wade Miley. A 3-run double has made it 3-0 Diamondbacks.
tribute and honored the 19 men who lost their lives heroically and courageously battling the Yarnell Hill fire. I'm joined by Bob Brandon, who is a chief, actually a captain in the Peoples Valley Fire Department, getting a break from battling those fires up there. Your son was kind enough to buy you some tickets to come to this game. What has the last week of your life been like?
It has probably been one of the hardest weeks I've ever spent. But I just want to say the Peoples Valley Fire Department hearts are broken for the loss of the lives of the firemen, and we're praying for their families and their recovery. But it was very tense for the last 4 days.
And you were up there in that Glen Isle area where the Granite Mountain Hot Shots were, the Blue Ridge Hot Shots were, and your department was there as well. What was that scene like?
That's correct. It was like being in a firestorm, if you could imagine it, and then it went from daylight to dark in a matter of minutes, and we had to just literally find our way out. We ran for our lives.
You were kind enough to share some photographs. You were on a tanker truck that puts out a lot of water, and the strategy obviously was to create a backfire to help it get around that area, but it simply was not possible.
That's right. Our efforts failed, and it overran us. They estimated that the fire was going at 15 miles an hour, eating up a mile every 15 minutes. I'm sorry, a mile every 15 minutes. And we were just caught in it. We couldn't get out other than just run.
In your group of guys from Peoples Valley, all volunteers, a group of 15 men that dedicate their life to this type of thing, how have they been affected? I know they got a little bit of a respite from the battle the last couple of days.
Somber, very somber. Their lives will be changed forever, I believe. Right now, we still have 2 of them out on the line, and they're working 16-hour days, so we need to hold them up in prayers too, so they don't get hurt. Sometimes, in the end of a fire, it's just as much as the beginning.
You know, you mentioned that you've got a young man on your squad that knew most of those 19 men who perished in that blaze. Went to fire school with a lot of those guys, and he was very much profoundly affected by it.
That's true. There was a young man on my crew called Matt Keener. He went to school with all of them. He knew them all personally. He knew some of the ranchers' sons that died. They were friends, high school friends, and he is very much affected by it. So we're trying to work with him so that he doesn't it won't affect him the rest of his life.
You're a big Diamondback fan, and I know that you were I'm sure very pleased to see what they did last night. They've raised close to $400,000, over $100,000 in the 50-50 raffle. They are really continuing to help out that community. That has to make you awfully proud.
That is amazing, the support that we're getting from literally all over the state, all over the world, to help out the victims of this fire. Yes, I am so thankful.
You're going to be part of the procession as the bodies are delivered back up to the Prescott area tomorrow. It's certainly going to be an emotional situation, I would imagine.
There'll be a lot of tears shed tomorrow. Yes, as they come by up Highway 89. Yes, Peoples Valley and Yarnell will be part of the procession.
Brandon, we can't thank you enough for what you do, and Godspeed, and certainly God bless the men we lost in that fire up there.
Thank you very much.
Guys, back to you. Some real heroes still battling that fire up there, and certainly a tragic loss.
Certainly is, Brad. Thank you very much, and thank you, sir. And fans, we want to take this time to remind you, if you have not yet done so, please log on to dbacks.com/19 and support the Diamondbacks efforts as we honor our fallen firefighters and support their families. The money goes to the 100 Club of Arizona and the American Red Cross. It's immediate financial assistance to the families. And the Arizona Diamondbacks Foundation is matching all donations, now up to $200,000. The D-backs have doubled their commitment this week, and everyone donating $19 or more can win a home white D-backs jersey signed by the entire team, honoring the 19 fallen members of the Granite Mountain Hot Shots and the Prescott Fire Department. And this week's 50-50 raffle over the weekend and the proceeds from an online auction at dbacks.com will benefit the families of the firefighters, and we're up to $24,000. And Bob, it was quite a moment for both of us, I know, to sit here last night and watch the total for the 50-50 go over $100,000, setting a record with all the fans here, more than 45,000, knowing where the money was going to.
It was quite a moment, quite an evening all the way around, but I've never seen anything quite like it. I guess the closest thing is when Aroldis Chapman was in town and everybody was watching the radar gun to see if he'd hit triple digits. The fans here really got into it late in the game as that tote board kept climbing closer and closer to 100,000. Finally got over it just as the game ended.
Pomerantz a sacrifice bunt. Miggy corrals it. And Colvin advances 90 feet after the leadoff single. You'll note these special jerseys with Arizona. We are, after all, the Arizona Diamondbacks, and the word Arizona on the front of the jerseys for a home series. These are the jerseys. These actual game-worn jerseys will be auctioned off at Diamondbacks.com. All the proceeds from that auction go to the 100 Club of Arizona. So if you can log on and bid on what of these jerseys a Diamondbacks player has worn in these games this weekend, and these are special jerseys, you won't see these again. You can do that at dbacks.com when the online auction is underway, and all that money will go to benefit the families of the firefighters.
Huge tip of the cap and a high five to everybody who's already donated, but if you have not, do the best you can. Reach out to your friends and family, your teammates on your youth league teams, your church groups, whatever it may be. Please get involved.
And this was last night at Chase Field when the 50-50 went over $100,000 for the first time. And half of that went to the families. A tremendous job by all the Diamondbacks fans. It was a special night for the community. Martin Prado at third. Colvin stays put at second base, 2 down. So again, fans, dbacks.com/19. If you've already donated, thank you so much for everything you've done. If you haven't yet done so, please take the time and do it now. There's the address, dbacks.com/19. The money goes to the 100 Club of Arizona and the American Red Cross, and it goes to the families. Jonathan Herrera lined out to shortstop his first time. Wade Miley trying to strand that leadoff single by Tyler Colvin here.
This is the first time the Rockies have had a runner as far as second base so far in this series. 1 game and 3 innings.
Jonathan Herrera struck out as a pinch hitter last night. He's the starting shortstop here tonight. 4 hits in his last 18 at-bats. He and Rutledge have been sort of sharing the shortstop job while Troy Tulowitzki's on the DL. Tulo out with a rib injury. Still a chance, they say, he'll be back before the All-Star break. Lifted to center field. A.J. Pollock, Arano Parra. A.J.'s there in front of the pool, and Wade Miley strands that leadoff single. Will go bottom 3. It's 3-0 Diamondbacks. By CenturyLink, your link to what's next. By Mazda, we believe if it's not worth driving, it's not worth building. And by Jack in the Box, the Chipotle Chicken Club Combo is back for a limited time at Jack in the Box. Try one today with fries and a drink for just $4.99 plus tax. Diamondbacks lead the Rockies 3-0. A two-out, bases-loaded double by Wade Miley delivered all 3 runs. And he's staked himself to a 3-0 lead as we start the home half of the third. Aaron Hill, Paul Goldschmidt, and Miguel Montero against Drew Pomeranz, who's had a rough time so far. He's walked 3, 2 scored on the Miley double. Diamondbacks have seen Drew Pomeranz before. He faced the D-backs, in fact, 3 times last year. The previous meeting October 1st here at Chase Field. And Pomeranz then looked pretty good. 2 runs, 3 hits in 5, had 7 strikeouts. Did give up a couple of home runs. His other 2 outings against the Diamondbacks last year were short. He failed to go past 4 1/3 in either start. But that's when the Rockies were trying that weird rotation where every guy pitched 1 inning or whatever they were doing.
Yeah, 75 pitch limit on starters. They had guys piggybacking starters, which means one guy starts, the other guy knows he's going to come in probably in the 5th or 6th inning of a ball game.
What do you think about all that?
Well, I think perhaps trying to reinvent the wheel a little bit, but I don't fault the Rockies for thinking outside the box a little bit. They've tried just about everything else.
That is now 4 walks issued by Drew Pomeranz.
For years it's kind of been fun to try to figure out what is the best thing for the Rockies pitchers to do. I mean, they've tried to bring in hard throwers. The idea being you're going to throw the ball right by hitters. You bring in sinker ball pitchers, keep the ball out of the air at Coors Field. Bring in guys, obviously you don't want to get guys that rely heavily on breaking pitches because the ball just doesn't break at mile-high elevation. And they're still continuing to search for the right formula.
Here's Goldie. Yeah, last year the Rockies used 14 different starting pitchers. They put up some dreadful numbers, a collective 5.71 ERA, a 3.04 opponent batting average. Both marks were the worst in the major leagues. Trying to figure out something.
And we're halfway there, fans, and you know that. Anytime the D-backs score 6 or more, Taco Bell is giving away 3 free tacos with the purchase of a large drink between 4 and 6 the following day at participating locations.
That one is absolutely crushed. Get out of here.
Oh, my.
Paul Goldschmidt, a new single season career high. That's number 21, and it's 5-0 D-backs. That's a Fulton home run. Another $150 to Central Arizona Mountain Rescue, and the National League's RBI leader and the All-Star extends his lead.
Such a quick swing. Pomeranz makes a mistake up in the zone. Goldie puts that quick trigger swing on it. That ball was absolutely blasted.
It almost got up into that second set of seats. Number 21. A new single season high for Goldie, and this is All-Star year. Look at the little smirk on Kirk Gibson's face right there. He's done that once or twice. He knows what that feels like.
That's good managing right there.
Just doesn't need to turn around. He can just kind of enjoy the moment for himself. Drew Pomeranz has walked 4. 3 of those walks have scored. Two and 1 to Miguel Montero. Miggy lifts it out of play. Third base side, 2-2.
Well, if you'll pardon the pun, it's been a rocky road for Colorado. Over their last 10 road games, their record is 2-8. They're averaging under 3 runs a game. Pitchers ERA 5.16, and they've made a boatload of defensive errors. It's been a rough go for the Rockies, which is not encouraging, because after this 3-game set, they go to San Diego for 3 and then finish the first half of the season with 4 in LA against the Dodgers.
Ooh.
I see where you're going. Rocky Road. Yeah.
Yeah, sure. Rocky Road. You guys are just weaving a tapestry of words. Second strikeout for Drew Pomeranz. He's got Miggy twice so far. Here's Cody Ross. Cody doubled and scored his first time. Boy. Cargo. I'm not sure Cargo even blinked when that thing was hit over his head. He didn't move a muscle out there in left.
You can tell Goldie is just so excited.
That's for him. That's jumping up and down.
Yes, it is.
Try to contain yourself, Paul. Well, this is on television.
All of his teammates are giddy over there in that third base dugout, watching that home run sail nearly into the second deck in left field. Goldie said, just another day of work.
Last year in 145 games, Paul Goldschmidt hit 20 home runs and had 82 RBIs. 20 and 82 in 145. This is game number 86 this year. He's now got 21 home runs and 73 RBIs. Arenado spins and throws at third, and Cody's aboard. "20 homers, 82 RBIs last year. Right now he's at 21 and 73 at half the games.
It's just the consistency all season long. There was about a 10-day to maybe 2-week stretch where opposing teams just decided they weren't going to throw Goldie anything to hit.
Yeah, and he went 4 for 39.
Yeah.
But he took the walks.
He took his walks and he figured it out. He started to drive the ball to the opposite field. He hit some home runs to right field, some extra base hits to the gap in right center, and suddenly opened up that strike zone again, and he hasn't cooled off since.
Martin Prado grounded to second his first time up. There's assistant hitting coach Turner Ward going over the game plan. So far it's working. Don't change it.
Well, whatever your thought process was, it was right.
If you're going to cast a movie in the South and a guy who you pulled over and asked directions, you'd get Turner Ward.
Yeah.
You know, he'd have a little bit of, something in his mouth. He'd chewing something. Hey, how do I get to? Well, you go down, you take a left.
You see a big red barn.
Hang a right there.
Go down there where the creek splits.
You can't miss it. One and two. Diamondbacks have now out-hit the Rockies 4-2. Drew Pomeranz has walked 4. 3 of those 4 walks have scored. 2 on the Wade Miley double and 1 on the Paul Goldschmidt home run. That one's lifted in the air to shallow left. Cargo coming in. 2 down. Arnold Parra walked and scored his first time. Mentioned Drew Pomeranz did not make the Rockies coming out of camp. Went to AAA Colorado Springs and pitched pretty well there. Went 8-1. The ERA was over 4, but it is the Pacific Coast League, which is just a graveyard for pitchers. 96 strikeouts and just under 86 innings in AAA. And there goes Cody. Torrealba's throw is high. Stolen base for Cody Ross. That's his first this year.
The Took advantage of the slow delivery by Drew Pomeranz. Just took off on first movement that time. Good pitch to handle for Torey Alba away from Gerardo Parra. He could really get out of the chute quickly, but just too much of a jump that time by Cody Ross.
That was terrific. One and 0 to Gerardo Parra. That's lifted down the left field line. Gonzalez will give it a look, but it hits on a play. Bob, that steal by Cody, a case of, don't take your foot off the gas here. It's still early.
Absolutely. I mean, this Rockies offense is capable of putting a lot of runs on the board in a hurry. You certainly hope that isn't the case here tonight. But, yeah, with 2 outs in the inning, that's a good time to take a chance, try to steal your way into scoring position, and hopefully get a big 2-out knock here off the bat of Gerardo Parra to tack on another run.
Cody 2 for 2, double a single. He scored a run and now stolen a base. Here's the 1-1. Gets away from Torey Alba, and Ross will take third. Doesn't seem to matter who's back there for Colorado. You're going to pick up the occasional extra 90 feet.
That's only the second pass ball of the season for Torey Alba. Just lost his focus there. The ball hits off the thumb of the glove, and then a very lackluster effort chasing that ball down. Cody wasn't running initially from second base, but when he saw the ball get away and saw the effort by Torey Alba, he took that extra 90 feet.
Rosario had a wild pitch and a pass ball last night. Popped it up, third base side. Arenado, Herrera in foul ground. And that's the inning. Diamondbacks strand the runner at third, but they get 2 more courtesy of their National League All-Star, Paul Goldschmidt. He is Goldie gone. It's 5-0.
Around forever and knows how to play the game, so it's a big compliment. And just, hadn't really thought about it much. Just try to go out and take care of business. Try to. Coming from Gibby, and he's obviously seen a lot, been around forever, and knows how to play the game. So it's a big compliment. And just, hadn't really thought about it much. Just try to go out and take care of business. Try to prepare every day, and the All-Star game's still a while off. So just try to focus on each game and not really worry too much about that. And when it comes, enjoy it, and then when it's over, come back to playing every day.
Oh, the All-Star, Paul Goldschmidt, providing our Geico quote of the game. It was a phone call Kurt Gibson placed to National League All-Star manager Bruce Bochy, saying, hey, you've got to have this guy on your team. You've got to be around this quality of person. And it's certainly gratifying to know that Goldie will be there as the ball is driven to center field, dropping in for the base hit. Goldie will be there next later on this month at Citi Field. It's going to be interesting, guys. He's not a guy that likes to talk about himself, and as you know, All-Star games, the media will ask a lot of questions about what he's been doing, so it'll be interesting to see how his experience is back there, but certainly a well-deserved honor.
He's going to love it and hate it at the same time.
Yeah, I think he will.
Because he's not one to talk about himself, BB.
And this is another big step forward in the career of Paul Goldschmidt. I recall my one All-Star game appearance happened to be at Candlestick Park in 1984. I was a 30-year-old making my first All-Star appearance, and walking into that room, seeing the nameplates above those lockers, the best in the game, guys you've competed against all season long, and I'm sure Paul has a lot of respect for the guys that are going to accompany him to New York for that All-Star game, and it really just gives you that feeling of belonging.
Well, two of them are right here. Carlos Gonzalez, his second base hit to lead off the fourth for Colorado, and the other is up right now, Michael Kadire. Troy Tulowitzki's in the Colorado dugout on the DL. They're all All-Stars along with Patrick Corbin.
Well, Goldie doesn't get the same kind of national publicity that a lot of players do because, as you said, he doesn't blow his own horn. He doesn't call attention to himself other than by his play on the field. But other players around the National League are more than happy to blow the horn for Paul Goldschmidt.
This could be two. Didi, Aaron Hill, Goldie. They roll it 2 down in the fourth.
Third double play actually second double play in 4 innings for Wade Miley. That's when you know he's got that two-seamer working down in the zone, getting those ground balls, letting his defense work behind him.
Is that what he has to do to be successful?
Yeah, among other things. He needs to throw more strikes, more quality strikes, but trust his stuff. He's got a good fastball in the low to mid-90s with some tailing, sinking action. Got that back foot slider when he's commanding it well. That's a weapon for him. That one fouled down the first base line out of play.
Well, Wade Miley's last start Monday, series opener against the Mets, looked pretty good. Here's Nolan Arenado. Miley's effective at keeping the ball on the ground. He's 11th in the National League in ground ball percentage, which is actually a big jump up from his ground ball rate last year, almost 10%. The issue is Wade's home run to fly ball ratio. That's more than doubled over the last year. So when they do get it up in the air against Miley, it's been well hit. Like that. Cody Ross is in front of the wall. Arenado gave it a ride, but it stays in this big yard and will go to the home half of the fourth. CenturyLink, your link to what's next. The man who's got the 3-run double. Yes, it's Wade Miley.
During any Arizona Diamondbacks regular season home game.
Lots to celebrate at Chase Field tonight. A 5-0 Diamondback lead as we get set for the home half of the fourth inning. Wade Miley, a 3-run, 2-out double in the second. Paul Goldschmidt, a 2-run homer in the third. Goldie's 21st of the year. As the Diamondbacks have gotten a Drew Pomeranz early. 3 in the second and 2 in the third.
Well, for Wade Miley, getting through that fourth inning is always a big deal. In fourth innings of his games this year, his ERA is over 7. The rest of the time, it's 3.75. So just getting through the fourth inning unscathed is a big deal for Wade tonight.
1-0 to Didi. I mentioned this earlier, Bob. You know, Wade Miley's got to do two things, right? He's got to keep the ball on the ground and not walk guys. The walks per 9 innings rate this year is nearly double what it was last year when he won 16 games for the Diamondbacks. In fact, he's walked 1 tonight, and with that 1 walk, he has equaled his total from all of last season when he was the Rookie of the Year runner-up. Helton at first, 1 away. And the walks have really come back to bite him here, but tonight, he's only walked 1. He's kept it on the ground, got a couple of double plays, and it's working out.
I mean, you can pitch around the occasional walk, especially if it's only 1 here and 1 there. You definitely don't want to bunch some walks up in the same inning, but when you're a ground ball pitcher, you don't always get rattled so much by 1 base runner because you feel like you can throw a ground ball on the next pitch and get yourself out of a jam.
Well, Drew Pomeranz put himself in a jam in the second inning. Cody Ross doubled. With 2 down, Parra walked, Gregorius walked, and Wade Miley just knocked one the other way down the left field line for a 3-run double. That made it 3-0. Tack on Goldie's 2-run shot. It's 5-zip. Wade Miley put a good swing on it, but Rutledge is there on the grass in shallow right. 2 down. He hit that one better than the double.
Center fielder.
Well, my first manager in the big leagues, Frank Robinson, once told our starting pitchers, hey, if you want to win a game, throw a shutout and drive in a run. Well, Wade Miley following that advice here tonight. Shutting the Rockies out through 4 innings and drove in 3 with his double back in the second.
What was he like to play for?
He was tough, boy, for a dumb young player like me. It was really tough. I wish I would have had the opportunity to play for Frank later in my career when I had a better grasp of how the game was supposed to be played. He did not suffer mistakes well.
Whew. Did he get on you a little bit?
Oh my!
What you got a memorable bonehead play you made that he just lit you up?
No, there were just so many of them. But finally, after the millionth mistake, I said, "Listen, I may not know what I'm doing back there, but I'm really coachable. So if you tell me what it is I'm supposed to do, I'll do it from now on." And once we had our come to Jesus meeting there, I think I earned a modicum of respect from Frank, and he taught me a lot about the game of baseball after that. That's why I said I wish I would have had a chance to play for him a little later in my career.
A.J. Pollock 0 for 2. I just remember Frank Robinson managing Cleveland in those red uniforms they used to have back in the day. Head to toe in that bright red color.
They look like blood clots with legs. Those were some bad unis.
The Frank Duffy era. Another chance tonight for Gibby to get A.J. Pollock in there against a lefty. A.J. this season 55 points better versus left-handed pitching. But he's 0 for 2 so far tonight.
Well, that'll take your mind off that foul ball off the foot. Look, you got him on the back of that left elbow.
Who started the rule that said you can't rub it?
I don't know. Probably a catcher.
I mean, that's got to hurt.
You just don't want to give the pitcher the satisfaction of knowing that he wounded you in any way, shape, or form.
Thankfully, it appeared to catch him just above the elbow. Aaron Hill, he's walked twice.
And A.J. Pollock will draw some attention over there from Drew Pomeranz, even with a 5-run lead in this ball game. They saw what A.J. did on the bases last night, scoring from first base on a single.
He's got 6 stolen bases this year. He's been caught twice. Now, guys don't rub it. You're not allowed to touch it, rub it, show that it hurt you in any way whatsoever. But then when they get back underneath the dugout, is it...
Mommy! I have a boo-boo.
Let the guard down a little bit?
Yeah.
Right at you, Brenly. Oh, wow. That was your closest one yet.
Right above us.
Ah.
Had a beat on that one. That one came to eat, too. That was gonna hurt.
This, by the way, this is the Goldie bobblehead doll.
Yeah.
This is the only one in the building. This is coming up later this year. And, in fact, there's two. There's a Goldie, and then there's the Goldfinger Goldie bobblehead. So we've got them both going here.
He's the man with the Midas touch.
Come now, Mr. Bond. 0-1. Up the middle, base hit. A.J. Pollock will stop at second. Diamondbacks have the pair of 2-out base runners here in the fourth. Aaron Hill's been on base all 3 times he's been up there. Yeah, I got a date on the Goldie bobblehead. I got to look that up. Sometime in August, I think. I'll get it for you. There they are. There's the regular version, and then a special 1,000 have been made in gold for Paul Goldschmidt. And those are coming up. Let's see. August 10th is the day. Paul Goldschmidt bobblehead day. August 10th, Diamondbacks and Mets. That's courtesy of Audi. 1,000 lucky fans get the special gold edition. So call dbacks.com for tickets. Log on there or call 602-462-4600 and get your Goldie bobblehead. I have a feeling that's going to be a fairly hot item.
August 10th, that's perfect.
Now, for me, the gold version looks like Matt Williams. The first one, I think, is pretty good, the one on the left. The Goldfinger version looks a little like Matty Williams down at third. Doesn't it?
August 10th is my wife Joan's anniversary. I know what I'm getting her for her anniversary.
Problem
now.
solved.
Yeah.
Does she want the gold version or the regular?
What do you think?
Women generally like the gold, yeah.
Yeah.
It's all about the bling. Those are pretty good looking bobblehead. And this is the only one. I'm going to need security out of here, by the way, because I've been entrusted with the only one so far so we could show it on TV. You know, like those SEC football coaches, they have the Smokey Bear, state patrolmen following them everywhere. I need a couple of those guys. Most RBIs before the All-Star break, all-time Diamondbacks list. We just showed you Matt Williams. He's right behind Gonzo. And Goldie is creeping up. 73 now, leading the National League. Gonzo represented by number since we can't find him. 3-0. Pomeranz hasn't thrown a lot of strikes. He's at 89 pitches, only 46 for strikes. Corpus warming up. Base is full. Drew Pomeranz got the first 2 in the inning. Didi grounded out. Miley grounded out. He hit Pollock. Aaron Hill a single up the middle, and now another walk, this one to Goldie. That's his 5th walk in 3 2/3. A.J. Pollock at third. Aaron Hill at second. Paul Goldschmidt at first. Here's Miguel Montero, 0 for 2. He has struck out twice. Miggy last 20 games hitting .292. He's also picked up 10 walks, so he's taking his bases on balls. On base percentage near .400 over those last 20 games. A ball right into the glove. Pomeranz saves at least 2 runs right there. Diamondbacks leave them loaded. We're through 4. They lead it 5-0. See the D-backs take on the division rival Dodgers starting Monday. 3-game series Monday through Wednesday. 6:40 right here at Chase Field. Great lower level seats still available. So call now. This is a game you have to see this whole series, in fact. D-backs Dodgers battling it out for the NL West lead. 602-462-4600. Log on to dbacks.com/tickets. MV Puig. Whoa.
Boy, did they take a wrong turn.
Yeah. Did you see him today? 0 for 4, 4 Ks. Hello. This is our MVP. Oh, Wade Miley, 6 career starts against the Rockies. 4-0, an ERA of 2.79, and that is following the script here tonight. So far, he's given up only 3 hits. He's walked 1. And he leads at 5-0. Todd Helton, your Torrealba, and Tyler Colvin, 6, 7, and 8 in the Colorado 5th. Bob, this is as good as Wade Miley has looked in a while.
Real nice rhythm. Occasionally Wade can get a little ahead of himself. He likes to work quickly, get the ball back from his catcher, get right back up on that rubber. Occasionally he gets a little ahead of himself, but a real nice rhythm going so far here tonight.
He did face Colorado earlier this season. He's at 46 pitches right now. Remember back on April 27th at Chase Field. That was the game in which he walked 7 in 4 1/3. High hop for Martin Prado. They retire Helton 1 down.
Including 4 in the first inning, and the Rockies didn't score.
It was nuts, man. It was just crazy talk. But boy, he's just rolling along here, doing everything he's supposed to do. Keep it in the yard, keep it on the ground, don't walk anybody, and he's been very efficient. 49 pitches, 31 for strikes. Here's Torrealba. Hit into a double play his first time up, and that's another thing. He's got 2 double plays behind him tonight. Kirk Gibson said earlier this year he just wants to see Wade Miley have some belief in himself. Gibby says when things get bumpy for a young guy like Wade Miley, he's got to find a way to tough your way through it. That one's driven to the gap in right center. Parra is there to cut it off. 2 down. Three things you need to know about Wade Miley. This is what our staff has come up with. They worked on this all day. Made his major league debut versus the Braves, his childhood team. He enjoys gator hunting. And he's neighbors with Britney Spears. That's in Louisiana, not Los Angeles.
Not Los Angeles, no.
Wade's not an LA type. Wade Miley will tell occasionally on the flights hunting stories that will terrify you for weeks on end. He told me one story about hunting. I didn't sleep that night.
Yeah.
I mean, he will. And he's got, the thing is, he's got pictures.
Mm-hmm.
And you don't want to see him. Tyler Gold. He's a sportsman, is what he is. And he's been very efficient tonight. 10 of the 16 Rockies batters have seen 3 pitches or fewer. But he's behind here 2-0 on Tyler Colvin. He once explained to me over the course of a 10-minute conversation how to gut a javelina.
Okay.
You want to get in there, see, and you got to cut that gland out of there. And I'm done.
Never mind.
This conversation needs to end right now.
Yeah. I mean, I fancy myself a little bit of an outdoorsman.
Oh yeah, you're out there with your fishing pole and stuff.
Nowhere near Wade Miley. I mean, when the apocalypse comes,
you want him.
Wade Miley's on my team.
Yep. Gets Colvin to chase, and a nice 1-2-3 5th for Wade Miley. He's worked 5 scoreless, given up only 3 hits, and he leads it 5-0. Arizona.com. Jack has coverage from tonight's game with a story and video from last night's emotional ceremony. Also, ex-ASU coach Pat Murphy finds success in Tucson. Read all about it at FoxSportsArizona.com. Bob Brenly, we lead the league in love here at Chase Field. We had another wedding proposal. Another yes. They were wearing Rockies t-shirts, though. I find that curious. Not sure. I mean, you go on the road to propose to the girlfriend? You're Rockies fans. You do it at... I guess they heard we lead the league in love.
Yeah, I guess so.
Got to go to Chase Field. New pitcher for the Rockies, Manuel Corpus. And Drew Pomeranz had a disappointing effort his first time up. And he can't get through 5 innings tonight. Corey Dickerson takes over in center field for Tyler Colvin. Cody Ross. He's doubled, singled, scored a run, and had a stolen base. Drew Pomeranz in his first start in the big leagues this year. Sunday at Coors Field against the Giants went only 4 1/3. Didn't even make it that far tonight. And here is Manny Corpus.
Second go round with the Rockies for right-hander Manny Corpus. He was with them in 06, 07, 08, 09, and 2010. Missed the entire 2011 season with Tommy John surgery. Pitched for the Chicago Cubs last season, 48 ball games, and signed a minor league contract with the Rockies this year. And here he is in the big leagues once again.
3-2. Ross, Prado, Parra here in the Arizona fifth. 5-0 Diamondbacks. Cody drives that one to the gap in left center, and that gets down. Dickerson over there quickly to cut it off. He keeps Cody at first base. Cody lost 3 for 3.
It's really good to see some other members of this offense start to contribute. Cody hit that one right off the end of the bat. Otherwise, it splits the gap in left center field as it is a single. You know, for long stretches of the first half of this season, if Paul Goldschmidt didn't drive in a few runs or drive himself in a couple of times, the Diamondbacks had very little chance to win. Other guys starting to get involved in the offense now, taking their base hits, taking their walks, taking some of the pressure off Goldie.
Martin Prado 0 for 2. He is grounded out and flat out. There is one of the Diamondbacks All-Stars along with Patrick Corbin.
That's a balk. Yes, it is. Corpus was having trouble seeing the signs from Yorvi Torrealba. Kind of started his delivery and then tried to quickly step off the back of the mound before anybody noticed, but home plate umpire Todd Tishner right on top of it.
Ross moves up 90 feet. Ooh, there. Yep, you saw it right there. And again, issues between the Rockies catcher and the pitcher. Don Hilting having a discussion with Adam Hamari at second base. Torrealba back behind the plate. It was a rough night for Jorge De La Rosa and Willeen Rosario last night in the series opener. They couldn't get together on signs. There was a wild pitch, a pass ball. Now a whole new battery and still some issues for Colorado. Prado behind 0-2. Martin Prado had a great road trip, hit 400 on the 10-game trip, made 8 starts, a couple of home runs, 4 RBIs. Struck him out, 1 away in the 5th. Gerardo Parra. Parra walked and scored in the 2nd. Popped up to short in the 3rd, and he's 0 for 1. Gerardo Parra has always been a consistent player. The batting average in the first half of his season for the career, 286. Second half, 281. So as we've watched Gerardo play nearly every day and play at full speed, there is little in his track record to suggest you'll have a drop-off after the All-Star break. But he's also venturing into uncharted waters here in terms of at-bats for the season. Never 500, but now he's on pace for 600. He's down 0-2. Bob, big thing for the Diamondbacks tonight. They were given opportunities by Drew Pomeranz with all those walks, and they took advantage.
Took advantage of them, yeah. Over the course of the season, they haven't always cashed in when they've been the beneficiary of some base on balls by opposing pitchers.
Pomerantz walked 2 ahead of Wade Miley to load the bases. They both scored on Miley's double. He walked Aaron Hill ahead of the Paul Goldschmidt home run.
I think the number was right at 11% of guys that drew a base on balls actually came around to score for the Diamondbacks, which is one of the lower percentages in all of baseball.
There it is. Tonight, 3 of the 5 walks have scored. 1-2. Up the middle. That gets down. They will wave Cody Ross. Here he comes. Gerardo Parra head up all the way. Wants a double. And he's in there. Gerardo Parra bringing the want. That's double number 26. And it's a 6-0 Diamondback lead. And Bob Brenly, you know what that means.
Tacos. Absolutely.
And the balk ends up costing Colorado a run.
Tomorrow between 4 and 6, with the purchase of a large drink, you'll get 3 free tacos, thanks to that RBI double off the bat of Gerardo Parra, pushing the Diamondbacks to the 6-run mark here in the bottom of the 5th inning.
You can have your own taco festival, courtesy of Gerardo Parra and the Diamondbacks. Here's Didi. Walked and scored in the 2nd, grounded out in the 4th, 0 for 1. That did, at no point did that appear to be a double. He just kept on going. He was not stopping.
You got a good read. You have a right-handed throwing center fielder moving to his left, and Gerardo Parra, being an outfielder, understands what it means to have to move laterally and turn your body, throw against your own body back to a target, so he didn't hesitate at all.
He rarely does. But in that case, head up all the way, and he took off.
Well, how about this? 10 hits in the ball game for the Diamondbacks last night. 4 of those were for extra bases. 7 hits in the game tonight, and once again, 4 for extra bases. 8 of their 17 hits the last 2 days have gone for extra bases.
Can we get some slugging percentage, please? That one rolls foul. Now take a look at Gerardo Parra. He's thinking double all the way. Right out of the box. We saw A.J. Pollock do this on the triple last night.
That's where you get doubles. That first 90 feet out of the batter's box down to first base. That gives you at least the option of turning the corner and trying to go for 2. If you jog down that first base line, figuring up your batting average in your own mind, congratulating yourself for getting a base hit, you don't have a chance to make it to second base.
He's got 26 doubles and 27 RBIs. 0-2 to Didi. Last night, Didi got his batting average against lefties up over 200 for the year. He's at 206, but 322 against righties as he faces Corpus here. Diamondbacks about hit the Rockies 7-3. They lead at 6-0. Helped in part by 5 walks from Drew Pomerantz, 3 of which scored. Parra at second after the RBI double. Second, Rutledge. Power to third, 2 down. Here's the man who's been the big offensive threat here for the Diamondbacks tonight, Wade Miley. This was Miley back in the 2nd inning, bases loaded. Just dropped it down that left field line. All 3 runs came in. That made it 3-0. Diamondbacks added 2 more on the Goldie home run, his 21st. And now here in the 5th, an RBI double by Gerardo Parra. Parra now at third with 2 away. Up the middle. Rutledge coming in, has to hurry. And they strand the runner at third. But another run in for the Diamondbacks. Tacos tonight at Chase Field, courtesy of Gerardo Parra. 6-0 Arizona. If you say no, it's close though. Thanks for tweeting your vote to @FoxSportsArizona. And Bob, speaking just for myself, I hate the idea of the guy getting in there having only played 31 or so ball games. But on the other hand, baseball needs to seize this opportunity. I really believe this is important. The sport needs to put its best foot forward here. It has that stage all to itself here at this point in the calendar year. All the other sports are dormant. And baseball needs to, it's a marketing event. Let's face it, we're trying to market our game to the world, not just the rest of the country. And Yasiel Puig brings that international flavor, coming from Cuba, of course, and people want to see him. I think those things, perhaps now in this age of social media and everything else, deserve a little more consideration than they might have 5 or 10 years ago. What do you think about that angle?
I think you bring up a great point, and we've talked about all the national publicity that Puig has gotten already in the early stages of his career. There's definitely fan interest out there through the roof right now to see this young man play. You know, the old school guy in me says he hasn't really done enough yet. You know, let him get around the league a couple times. Let's see if he makes the adjustments necessary to continue to be a productive player. But people want to see him at this point.
It's a chance for baseball to put its best foot forward, and it needs to take advantage. And there's Corey Dickerson, who came in for Colvin, batting in the pitcher spot. He grounds out to second, one away. But baseball needs to seize that opportunity, and if people want to see Yasiel Puig, and let's face it, it is a popularity contest, no matter the fact that it does count, that aside, that's something that needs to be given consideration.
And with any decision that Major League Baseball has to make, they're always concerned with the ramifications moving forward. What kind of precedent does this set for future generations of ball players? You know, what if you have 3 or 4 Puigs next year? Guys that have limited playing time but have put up ridiculous numbers, generated a lot of excitement in their hometown, and people are going to want to see them at the All-Star game next year.
There's also the argument that says, hey, this counts. You know, ask the Giants if home field in the World Series matters. And if that's the case, then Bruce Bochy or whoever is managing the National League All-Star team, or any All-Star team, should have the opportunity to field the best team he can, because the game counts. Josh Rutledge, A.J. Pollock, 2 down. 2 quick outs here for Wade Miley in the 6th. So there's lots of arguments. All of them may be correct, and you sort of come to a consensus and figure out something in the middle here. It's certainly a unique case, that's for sure. Jonathan Herrera 0 for 2. What is Wade Miley giving Kirk Gibson's team tonight?
Oh, we talked about it the other day. with the blown up bullpen. The guy's pitching on vapors down there at this point in the season. Really, all it takes is a couple of well pitched games from your starter, getting deep in the ball game to give those guys just enough of a rest, recharge their batteries, let their body rest a little bit for a couple of days. And boy, Tyler Skaggs did it last night. Wade Miley's doing it here tonight.
64 pitches, 41 strikes. He's been very efficient. He's kept it on the ground. He's used his defense behind him with some double play balls. And Bob, we have not seen Wade Miley this good since early April. We really haven't. He has been tremendous so far. And perhaps the best stat of all for Wade, other than the 0 on the scoreboard, only 1 walk. He gets Herrera to chase, and that's another 1-2-3 inning for Wade Miley. He's now retired 8 in a row. CenturyLink, your link to what's next. Paul Goldschmidt's already got 1 home run tonight. Congratulations. 6-0 Diamondbacks over the Rockies. Wade Miley working on a 3-hit shutout. It's A.J. Pollock, Aaron Hill, and Paul Goldschmidt 1, 2, and 3 here in the Arizona 6th. A.J. 0 for 2. He was hit by a pitch in the shoulder his last time up, just above the elbow. That was by Drew Pomeranz, who has since left the game. He lasted only 4 innings. Popped him up. Dickerson's in center field. 1 away. Aaron Hill. Aaron's been on base 3 times tonight. A pair of walks, a single. He scored a run. Back with you tomorrow at 12:30 from Chase Field. Hopefully going for the sweep. And then we welcome in the Dodgers.
Well, there's enough history and bad blood between these two teams. And you throw in the pennant race in the National League West, it should be a great 3 ball games. You don't want to miss it.
We're talking about the fact that Eric Hinski's no longer on the ball club after he was designated for assignment, which means you get 10 days right to figure out exactly what to do with Eric. Put him on waivers, make a deal. Well, he cleared waivers. Now he's back in Reno. And Bob, we were talking earlier in the game. What does Kevin Towers do once the bullpen thing settles down and they need to add a bench player? Eric Hinski is available again for you if you need him. Now that Willie Bloomquist is out with a broken hand. Interesting to see where they go with that spot.
Certainly an option, and we're glad to still have Eric Hinski in the organization. You know, the numbers weren't quite what he expected or the Diamondbacks expected in the early part of the season, but that's the life of a pinch hitter.
Willie Bloomquist out 6 to 8 weeks. They took a look, x-ray the whole thing. Broken hand, same thing as Aaron Hill. So Willie's out hopefully only 6 weeks, perhaps longer. And he had done a terrific job since coming back from the oblique injury suffered in spring training. So the middle infield is a man down in a sense. You're ready to add a position player. Josh Wilson is a possibility. Eric Hinsky a possibility. Or would you keep the extra pitcher?
I think that just depends. I mean, obviously, a lot goes into making those decisions. It's not something you do quickly. Kevin Towers, Kurt Gibson, the staff will sit down and look at the Dodgers series upcoming, look at the Brewers series upcoming before the All-Star break, and figure out what the best 25-man lineup or roster is going to be for those two series leading up to the All-Star break, and then make the appropriate move.
Oldie is grounded into a double play, homered and walked. The home run is 21st of the year, a new career high. Lifts that one into right to Dyer. A 1-2-3 sixth for Manuel Corpus. We're through 6. Diamondbacks lead at 6-0.
Prescott. In fact, the Arizona Diamondbacks Twitter account just sending this out a little while ago. In Prescott, at D Hall D-backs, with the mayor, the fire chief, and the Granite Mountain hotshot survivor Brendan McDonough. The D-backs actually handed over a check to Brendan, who survived that fire in Yarnell, a check for $400,000 and a pledge that the D-backs hope to donate as much as $500,000. So D Hall not here, but certainly doing much better work up there, and the great efforts continue to help that community heal from the horrible fire up there.
Absolutely, Brad. And Diamondbacks fans have done a tremendous job here at dbacks.com/19. The 50-50 raffle proceeds going to help the families as well as the online auction. So you can auction off those jerseys they're wearing here. Here's a guy that used to wear Diamondbacks colors, not the Sedona Red, but Junior Spivey's with us. Been talking a lot about the All-Star game.
Yes.
Yeah.
How you guys doing?
Here's your All-Star.
Doing good.
All right.
Doing good.
All right.
How's this TV thing going for you?
It's going pretty good. I'm loving it. I'm loving it. I know Goldie's making a strong case why he should be starting in the All-Star game. I can tell you that.
That's for sure. He has looked tremendous. And Patrick Corbin. Hopefully Gerardo Parra finds a way to get in there. And so what, Junior, where are you with this version of the Diamondbacks? What have you observed here in your time over the course of this year?
They're looking pretty good. If the pitching can just keep up, it's all about pitching and defense. If they can continue to do that, they're going to be right in the pennant race.
Wade Miley hadn't looked this good since probably the first 2 weeks of the season.
He's pitching well, keeping those guys off balance, playing good defense behind him.
Cargo drives it deep to center, and that is out of here. Carlos Gonzalez, the All-Star, his 24th home run. That's the first run given up by Wade Miley tonight. It's a 6-1 score now. Junior, as soon as you got here, they scored a run.
Man, that's not a good sign.
So Cargo, who sat out the series opener last night, is 3 for 3 tonight with a homer.
Well, there's a reason he's headed for Citi Field next week. Carlos Gonzalez, one of the best hitters in the game. 3 knocks against a tough lefty tonight, including that home run to the opposite field. He's pretty good.
I'll mention that Wade has to do 2 things, which is not walk anybody and keep the ball in the yard. The home run bug has bitten him a bit lately. And there's the case of that right there. The first time really all night he hasn't kept the ball on the ground. Michael Kadire, the other all-star in this Rocky starting lineup.
He's making the pitches when he has to.
What do you make of Kadire, Jr.? 34 years old, all of a sudden he's hitting like Ty Cobb.
He's doing it. He's in Colorado, and you know he's going to get a lot of confidence from playing in Colorado. I love playing in that stadium, and it's a good thing.
Yeah, Kadire was always one of those guys that had a reputation of being a great teammate, a well-schooled guy coming through the Minnesota organization. They place a heavy emphasis on playing the game fundamentally sound, but really has found a home here in Colorado this year.
Good ball player. Really good ball player.
Drives that one to right. Gerardo Parra backing up, and that one bounces off the wall. Kadire heads for second. And Michael Kadire's in there with his 18th double this season, so a home run and a double to start the 7th against Wade Miley, who had been cruising. Only 3 hits allowed before this inning, all singles.
Until I got in the booth.
Yeah, I'm sorry. Thanks for your time.
Thanks for stopping by.
It was nice of you to stop by. But I mean, what happened? How does a guy go like Wade Miley's been going here? Only 1 walk, 3 singles, suddenly home run double.
Well, those guys have been aggressive on him. You know, they're not taking too many first pitch fastballs, so they're jumping on him, and so now he's going to have to start locating his pitches a little better. That's it, but he's doing pretty good, so hopefully he'll start locating his pitches.
You know, we were talking earlier that he'd had a lot of problems in the 4th inning of ball games this year. Breezed right through that 4th inning today. Did give up the leadoff hit, but got a double play, a fly ball to left, and has been cruising up until this inning.
Well, he's been over 100 pitches in each of his last 3 starts. The pitch count is not at all a factor right now. The point is, though, he doesn't really get deep into games. We haven't seen Wade go this deep into a ball game in a while. Nolan Arenado.
Yeah, Junior, we've been talking a lot about the All-Star game in New York next week. And what was your experience like going to the All-Star game in 2002 in Milwaukee?
And that was unbelievable. I'll never forget it. I really just tried to soak it in and enjoy the moment. It's a little exhausting. It takes a lot out of you. You know, 3 or 4 days of just constant movement and just mentally it's draining. But it was the most unbelievable experience I've had in baseball.
Now, is that like the tickets and the family and everything?
Absolutely. It's the family just trying to make sure.
Cody Ross, replace your divots. Nice catch by Cody in left. That's the first out.
But it's just trying to make sure the family is good and just taking care of the families. That's the most exhausting thing.
A lot of people don't realize that when you go to an All-Star game, one of the first things you do when you get to the ballpark, they have like an auxiliary locker room set up as we get another look at that nice catch by Cody Ross out there in left. And you sign autographs for the better part of 3 or 4 hours. You just sit there and sign one item after another after another.
That is correct. And I was trying to get all the guys, everyone I looked up to growing up, and all the guys that I admired in the game, I tried to get autographs from everyone.
Now, those autograph items, they get online auctions and they go up for bid, right, for baseball. And in the meantime, Junior, you're running around probably trying to get signatures just for yourself, right?
Oh, absolutely. I had about 5-6 dozen baseballs I was trying to get signed by everyone.
You still got them?
Yes, I do.
Oh, that's going to be cool.
Yes.
Todd Helton.
I mean, and it's an odd collection of things you have to autograph. They have, regular size champagne bottles, those great big, what are they, magnum size champagne bottles, and batting helmets and hats and jerseys and baseball. More baseballs than you've ever seen in one place that you just sit down and grind your way through them.
I'm sure Corbin and Goldie's going to really enjoy it. It's an unbelievable experience.
High chopper to second. Aaron Hill has to hurry. A little flip to Goldie. And Kadire makes his way to third, 2 down. See if Wade Miley can limit the damage here to only 1 run.
Defense have been awesome behind them. They're playing really good infield and outfield, turning those double plays really good.
Do you remember a guy that works as quickly as Wade Miley did back when you were playing? Or you had a teammate?
Well, we had some guys that work pretty quick. Absolutely. I can't remember right now at this moment, but I love playing behind pitchers that work fast. The guys that took their time and worked slow, it just kind of threw me off rhythm. I like guys that work fast.
Brian Anderson was always pretty quick on days he pitched.
Yes.
Your Vitor Junior, what in your opinion, is the one thing the Diamondbacks have to do a little bit better with here if they want to hold on to this division lead?
I would say coming up with those clutch hits with 2 outs when you have runners in scoring position. I think if we can do a better job of doing that, I think we'll be fine. Starting pitching, of course, if we can go a little deeper into the games, they should be fine. But for the most part, man, you have Goldie carrying the team the way he's doing it, and everyone coming up with the clutch hits, extra innings, whether it's late in the ball games. That's the making of a championship team. So that's what it's going to take. And you know, bench and the bullpen can stay strong, remain strong. They're going to do well.
If you were an all-star, and this goes back to our AT&T Twitter poll question, and if you were an all-star and you had worked hard for 3 months and made the team, well, how would you feel if a guy who had played 30 games strolled in as an all-star as well? Where are you on the whole Yasiel Puig thing?
As a fan, I'm enjoying what he's doing, and I think he's at least in the conversation. If there's nothing else, he's in the conversation. What he's doing, I don't care how many games he's done it for. It is unbelievable. I mean, to be able to do that over a short amount of time. I mean, this is Major League Baseball, and he's able to put up some Major League numbers. I mean, superstar numbers. That is unbelievable to watch
Junior,
what he's doing. That's crazy.
What can we do about these people?
That's crazy. Now, if they Goldie, I don't want to jinx it, but hey, man, he's definitely not the MVP. I can tell you that. But he is definitely exciting to watch, and it's fun to watch him. Watch what he's doing.
It's kind of stirring it up for the Dodgers D-back series.
Oh, yeah, absolutely.
On Monday here.
Absolutely.
It's going to be a biggie. 3-2. Didi Gregorius. A strand Kadire. Only 1 run comes in on the Cargo homer. We're through a 6.5. Diamondbacks lead at 6-1. Junior Spivey, thanks very much.
Thank you, guys. Thanks for having me. I enjoyed it. Thanks, BB. And you're awesome. You're the reason why I was able to make the All-Star team. Thank you.
We'll see you on the postgame show. CenturyLink, your link to what's next. Cody Ross. By Cox Communications and Fry's Food Stores is headed to Chase Field for D-backs games July 28th and August 11th. And you can get on board. Just stop by this month's participating Fry's Marketplace in Sao Rita or the Cox Retail Store in Tucson, and you can enter to win 2 seats on the Fan Express bus. You get on the bus, all your buddies, you wear Sedona red, they drive you to the ballpark, you're at the game, they take you back, the whole thing. It's a fantastic deal, and you can get on board. Brought to you by Cox Communications and Fry's Food Stores.
Now, with all due respect to the Who, that is really the magic bus right there.
I see what you did. Wade Miley's got a little match. He might go all the way here. How about that? Bullpen. Miguel Montero up the middle. Herrera behind the bag. 1 away in the 7th. Miggy 0 for 4.
Boy, it was really good to see Wade Miley after that leadoff home run by Cargo and then the double to right center by Michael Kadire. We've seen it so many times this year where once the wheels start to come loose, they just fly completely off the vehicle. But Wade Miley able to right the ship there. Got 3 quick outs to get out of the inning, avoiding any further damage.
His high for the season is 110 pitches, and that was in his last start Monday against the Mets. He's certainly, in terms of the pitch count, able to give you at least one more. And we'll see how the 8th inning goes. Here's Cody Ross, who's 3 for 3, having a big night. A double, 2 singles. He scored twice and stolen a base. And he made a terrific catch out there in left field in that last half inning. Corpus back out there for his 3rd inning of work in relief of Drew Pomeranz, who could only go 4. He walked 5 in those 4 innings. 3 of the 5 he walked scored. Wade Miley, a 3-run, 2-out double in the 2nd. Paul Goldschmidt, a 2-run homer in the 3rd. Goldie's 21st. And Gerardo Parra, an RBI double in the 5th. Rockies have tacked on a cargo solo shot to lead off the 7th, and it's 6-1 here in the home half. And the Rocky bullpen is busy. 0-2 to Cody. Diamondbacks began the day with a 3.5 game lead over both the Rockies and the Dodgers atop the NL West. Dodgers lost to the Giants. D-backs leading Colorado here, so a chance to make this thing 4.5 games. Put a little distance between the D-backs and the rest of the field as the Dodgers come in here for 3 beginning on Monday. Two and two.
And Corpus has to wonder what it is about the Diamondbacks. He's gone 3 innings, only twice in his career. Both came back in the 2010 season. And the last time he did it was against the Diamondbacks, April 26th of 2010. Usually he's a guy you like to run him through the lineup one time. Just don't want people to see him that second go round. He's basically a 2-pitch guy, sinker, slider. Will change his arm angle from time to time, but usually if you've seen him once in a ball game, that's about as often as a manager wants you to see him.
And Cody is the first guy in the Diamondbacks order to get a second look at Corpus. Ross was the first batter he faced to start the 5th. Cody singled and scored. Corpus actually done a pretty good job. Ross singled to lead off the 5th. He struck out Prado. Parra had the RBI double. And that's been the last Diamondback hit in the ball game. They've out-hit Colorado 7-5. Center field, Cody Ross, 4 for 4. 2 looks at Corpus, a couple of base hits.
Cody's looking real hitterish tonight. I don't think it matters who's out there on the mound. Righty, lefty makes no difference. You throw it close to that strike zone. Cody's putting a nice swing on it tonight.
Doubled and scored in the 2nd, singled and stole a base in the 3rd, singled and scored in the 5th, and now a 1-out single in the 7th. And here's Martin Prado. A 4 for 4 night for Cody. His 8th home run, and the Diamondbacks have broken this one wide open. It's an 8-1 ball game. That's a Fulton home run. Another $150 to Central Arizona Mountain Rescue. Martin Prado now 3 homers in his last 11 games.
Through the first month of the season, I don't think we saw Martin Prado take one swing designed to pull the ball. But over the last 2 or 3 weeks, he's been driving the ball to left field with authority. That one up into the bleachers for a 2-run homer.
Well, you said it, Bob. You don't want your hitters getting a second look at Manuel Corpus, and the two guys who've had 2 looks at Corpus have both reached base. Ross is single and Prado a homer. And now Walt Weiss will double switch him out of there. Josh Outman is coming in with his high stirrups. Pitching change. We will take a break. Diamondbacks all over the Rockies. It's 8-1 at Chase. Away from the rest of the NL West, beating up on the Rockies here at Chase Field. It's 8-1 after Martin Prado's 8th home run this year. Hanging out by the Ram truck. New pitcher for the Rockies is Josh Outman with those high stirrup socks. Yorvi Torrealba made the last out of the 7th, so Walt Weiss has double switched. The pitcher now hitting in the 7th spot, and the new catcher is Jordan Pacheco.
We mentioned in last night's ballgame, Pacheco, a nice utility piece for Walt Weiss. Can play the corner infield positions, can play outfield. He played shortstop in college and has this card in the deck as well. He can go behind the plate as a third catcher.
8-1 Diamondbacks. Cody Ross a 1-out single in the 7th. He's 4 for 4. Came in on Prado's 8th home run. That made it 8-1 after Carlos Gonzalez got the Rockies on the board to lead off the 7th with his 24th homer against Wade Miley. So Outman and Parra with a 1 out in the 7th.
Outman wearing number 88 in a salute to the year 1988, since that was the last time anybody wore high stirrups.
Yeah, it's not a good look. It looks like his basement was flooded. Parra's been on base twice tonight. Walked and scored in the 2nd. RBI double in the 5th. And this is a guy who hits lefties pretty well. 273 versus left-hand pitching this year. Lifts that one high in the air to left. Cargo near the line. 2 outs. Didi Gregorius. Didi is 0 for 2. He walked and scored in the 2nd. Came in on Wade Miley's 2-out, 3-run double. That opened up the scoring. 3-run double by Miley in the 2nd. 2-run homer by Goldie in the 3rd, his 21st. Parra had an RBI double. And Martin Prado a 2-run homer. And with the exception of 1 home run given up by, or 2 Carlos Gonzalez, Wade Miley, much like Tyler Skaggs last night, Bob, he has pitched a beauty at a time when the Diamondbacks most needed it. Deep into the ball game and a chance to give an exhausted bullpen a night off. 0-1 to Didi. And you were telling me earlier that essentially J.J. Putzworked one inning last night, but they're looking for other innings to get J.J. some work to build the arm strength up. But other than that, you're going to essentially get 2 nights off now for the bullpen. And you were telling me earlier that 2 nights, even with a really, really tired group like we have here, is enough to sort of get them back to speed?
Absolutely. You don't want to give them too much time off. I mean, those guys are accustomed to throwing on a regular basis. We've taken it a little bit to an extreme leading up to the last 2 days, but yeah, just a couple of days physically to give your arm a little bit of a break, to mentally just sit there and watch a ball game, not have to grind and figure out pitch sequences and look at the hitter in the on-deck circle and the guy in the hole and who might they pinch hit off the bench and who could be the next guy to go into the game, and all that that entails, all that thinking and stress that goes into those guys down there in the bullpen. You can see them, they're kicking back, got their feet up, hats off, relaxed.
They are a tired group after a grueling 10-game road trip, a 4-game series at Citi Field in New York that involved 3 hours of rain delays and a lot more than that in extra innings. It took 20 hours to play 4 games if you count the extra innings and the rain delays. Carrera at short, and that ends the 7th. But Martin Prado adds to the Diamondbacks' night, his 8th home run of the year. Diamondbacks all over the Rockies, 8-1. We head to the 8th. And atop the division standings, and Wade Miley has had just what the doctor ordered for these Arizona Diamondbacks. So one night after Tyler Skaggs did the exact same thing, and for those reasons, they are our APS Energy All-Stars. The last 2 nights, these guys have saved the bullpen's bacon.
Big time. Putting zeros up in the case of Wade Miley. The 1 solo home run here tonight, but his team scored a boatload of runs for him. He had a little leeway, just out there throwing strikes.
And I thought that was really impressive, Bob, because Wade has been bitten by the big inning time and time again over the course of this year. He starts off the 7th, a home run to Cargo, a ball that was crushed to left center. Then a double by Kadire off the wall in right, and then 3 quick outs. Settled down. Jordan Pacheco, Corey Dickerson, and Josh Rutledge, 8, 9, and 1 here in the Colorado 8th. Pacheco now double switched into the game. He's behind the plate catching. He was hitless last night. He started at first base. 250 on the year, but only 2 RBIs in his last 20 games. Since June 1st, he's hit only 208.
Little reminders from Miguel Montero behind the plate to Wade Miley. Kind of pointed at his shoulder, said make sure you're coming right at your target, and then put both hands up in front, including the mitt. Told him to stay back. Don't be in too big of a hurry.
And we have seen steady improvement since, well, really 4 starts back for Wade Miley. Back on May 31st, he had that rough day at Wrigley Field, gave up 3 home runs. It had been getting better and better for Charles Nagy. Over his last 6 starts going into tonight, Miley has pitched to an ERA of 3. And he strikes out Pacheco to open the 8th. 4 strikeouts for Wade Miley, 1 away.
Boy, a lot of things different and good for Wade Miley in the ball game tonight, but this is a pitch we haven't seen a lot of recently, that back foot slider. Gets the swinging strike from Jordan Pacheco. He's made some mistakes with that slider recently, but that's the exact location you want that pitch when you're ahead in the count.
He's only thrown that slider 15% of the time this year, and about the same percentage as his changeup. He's mostly 4-seam, 2-seam. Corey Dickerson came on to play center field for Tyler Colvin back in the 5th. Last 6 starts, Wade Miley, the ERA at 3, still giving up some base hits, but he's limited the damage, and he's keeping the ball in the yard more, putting up some decent strikeout numbers. He's never been a big strikeout guy anyway, despite the fact that over those last 6 starts, he's only got 1 win to show for it. But this, when Wade Miley is really effective, this is what it looks like. Keeps the ball on the ground. Lets his defense do the work. Works quickly. Doesn't walk guys. He's only walked 1 tonight. He's given up 5 hits, 3 singles. He gave up his 3rd base hit to start the 4th. That was a cargo single. After that, he set down the next 8 in a row until a Gonzalez home run to lead off the 7th. Creeping up on 100 pitches here. He's been over 100 in his last 3 starts. 110 is his high for the year. 96 pitches, 60 for strikes. Misses there. It's full.
Pretty good looking pitch right there.
Todd Tishner behind the plate.
Starts over the inner third, sweeps across the zone.
That's a gorgeous pitch. Gonna have to make one more here. High chopper to short. Didi plenty of time. He's got that 70 arm on the 20-80 scale, 2 away. Wade Miley has used his defense behind him, and it's our Ram Trucks tools of the trade. Couple of double play balls. Keep it on the ground. Let your defense do the work, Bob.
Yeah, that one came after a walk. They were able to turn it even after the diving play by Martin Prado, and then after a leadoff single in the 4th, gets a double play ball off the bat of Michael Kadire.
Top of the order, Josh Rutledge. He's 0 for 3. This is the first time all season Wade Miley has pitched into the 8th inning. No correction, he did it one time going back May 8th at Dodger Stadium. He worked 7 2/3. He was great that night. 2 earned on 7 hits and 7 2/3. No walks, 4 strikeouts. He got the win. At that time, he was 3-1. He strikes out Rutledge. Wade Miley has been outstanding tonight. 8 innings of 1-hit baseball, and the Diamondbacks are beating up the Rockies 8-1 at Chase. event of the summer, the Midsummer Classic, returns to New York City Field, home field on the line for the World Series. The 2013 Major League Baseball All-Star Game. Patrick Corbin and Paul Goldschmidt will be there. You can only watch it on Fox July 16th live from New York. And how about this, Bob Brenly? Wade Miley wants to stay in and finish this thing out. It looks like he's been told he's done, and he is kind of putting up a little bit of a fight here.
Well, you love to see that. I mean, that's the attitude you want all your pitchers to have. They want to stay in the ball game.
Now they have Charles Brewer, who's been called up from AAA Reno just to give them some innings back there. We've talked about how the bullpen was completely gassed after that 10-game road trip with all the extra inning games involved, and you don't want Charlie just up here and sitting and watching. But at 101, Wade's not a guy that goes deep into games. He's only been over 100 pitches. Let's see, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 times this year. His high for the season, 110, his last time out. So he's right about there anyway. And this is the deepest into a game he's pitched all year. It's the first time this season he's worked 8 full. Wilton Lopez will open the 8th inning for the Rockies on the mound, and Jason Kubel is hitting for the pitcher.
I think Wade just wanted another at bat.
Probably. Boy, he was absolutely sensational. His best start of the year. At a time when his ball club needed it the most. That is hit a mile high in the air to left center. Dickerson drifting over to the gap. He's got it one away. He struck out 5. He walked only 1. Gave up 1 run on 5 hits. At one point he set down 8 in a row. Gave up a homer and a double. Then retired the next 6 he faced to get through 8 innings for the first time this year. And now when the bullpen was at its most exhausted at any point in the year, they'll have played 2 games here using only 2 relievers. One of whom was called up from the minor leagues just for this series. And Tyler Skaggs and Wade Miley, yeoman's work in that rotation. A.J. Pollock lines it hard to left, and that ball gets down off the wall. There goes A.J. with those long legs heading for second. And he's got his first base hit tonight. That's his 23rd double this season.
That's his first hit of the ball game tonight, but A.J. Pollock's been swinging the bat well. He's hit a couple right on the button tonight, including this one, a screamer down into that left field corner.
Ten hits now for the Diamondbacks. They about hit the Rockies 10-5. They have a man on second with 1 out, and here comes trouble. Aaron Hill. Aaron has been on base 3 times tonight. He's walked twice, singled, and scored a run.
Big base hit for A.J. Pollock as far as the fans are concerned, because barring some kind of an unusual double play, Paul Goldschmidt will get to hit 1 more time tonight.
That one is rolled to short. Herrera, the backhander, and the long throw. Hilton, a nice scoop at first. A.J. to third.
What a play. Great play on both ends. Herrera showing his range and a strong arm on the off-balance throw, and Todd Helton has been doing that for years over there at first base.
It's been Herrera and Rutledge filling in at shortstop for the injured Troy Tulowitzki. It was Rutledge last night. Tonight it's Herrera. Rutledge is at second base. Here's Paul Goldschmidt. 2-run home run in the third, his 21st of the year, a new career high. Goldie starting to pick up the offensive pace once again. Coming into tonight, he'd hit .318 over his previous 17 games, including 5 homers and 12 RBIs.
So you want to be a catcher, huh?
Yeah. He's like, I'm a shortstop, man. I played second base. I was a New Mexico Lobo playing second base. How'd I get here? Here's Wade Miley. Talking with his pitching coach, Charles Nagy. Absolutely sensational. 0-2 to Goldie. Padres lost 5-4 at Washington. Giants beat the Dodgers 4-2 in San Francisco. Dodgers in here for 3 beginning on Monday. He's back even 2-2.
Big day for Madison Bumgarner in that Giants-Dodger game. He only allowed 2 runs, drove in 2 runs for the Giants.
Something about left-handed pitchers hitting in the NL West today. Wade Miley, big 3-run double in the second. Paul Goldschmidt has worked it full, 3-2. He tends to do that. He grinds out at bats like a little Dustin Pedroia type. Miguel Montero on deck. 3-2, 2 outs. A.J. Pollock at third. Coming in here, this could be trouble for the Rockies. Just missed it. How about that, Bug? Usually teams, they want no part of that part of the plate against Paul Goldschmidt.
Sometimes you just have to learn the hard way.
Look where this is. We've talked about this for so long. Teams going away, away, away. Oh, throw that pitch again.
One more time, please.
We'll take one just like that. Ball 4. Second walk for Paul Goldschmidt tonight. Here comes Miguel Montero. Miggy is 0 for 4. He struck out twice. Couple of wild swings. Miggy will have a running conversation with whoever is standing next to him at any time. Could be an umpire, catcher.
Sometimes he doesn't even need that.
That's right. Lifts it in the air to right. Kadire at the track, at the wall, looking up, and it's out of here. Miguel Montero. That's his 6th home run, a 3-run shot, and the Diamondbacks go into double digits. Another Fulton home run, another $150 for Central Arizona Mountain Rescue. That's number 6 on the year for Miggy. Tip of the cap, wag of the finger. Another Rocky walk leads to another Diamondback run. Don't forget the 2-out walk to Goldie ahead of the home run by Montero.
I was about to say it's good to see Miggy get involved in the game tonight, but he has been involved. That's one thing about that catching position. Even if you're having a bad day at the plate, which Miggy had been having up until that 3-run homer, he had some smart fingers for his pitcher, Wade Miley, tonight. Did a great job behind the plate, but good to see him get rewarded here in the 8th inning with that 3-run bomb.
Look out. This has become nearly a nightly thing for Cody Ross. Miguel Montero, he had already struck out twice. Yeah, Cody, you could use some of this. Miguel Montero, it's our Chaz Roberts air conditioning cool play of the game. A couple of wild swings. He was down in that at bat 0-2.
I tell you, if Miggy asked for a pitch in a home run derby, where do you want it to hit the ball out of the ballpark? I want it down and in, right where that delivery was.
That's high in the air down the right field line. Kadire in a full sprint, but it's out of play. Home runs tonight from Paul Goldschmidt, his 21st, from Martin Prado, his 8th, and Miguel Montero, his 6th, and Gerardo Parra suggesting for Cody, you try some chalk, some stickum, some 3-in-1 oil, some gauze pads, whatever you got. Ball bearings.
Just trying to help the team any way I can.
11 hits and 11 runs for the Diamondbacks. They about hit the Rockies 11-5. Dude, I just got a bat. Are tie-dyed shirts back in?
They never went out.
All right.
Well, that one broke.
That's not his fault. Hey, you need this? It's right here. That's very sporting of him. All right, I'll be here if you need this. Dude, I just got. Oh, yeah, here. No, don't throw it. That's nice. He's ready to help out.
Great game awareness there.
We'll try this again. Cody Ross, 5 for 5. Cody Ross, his first career 5-hit game, a 5 for 5 night.
Well, the way he's swinging it, he could hit with a chair leg tonight.
He might have to.
Boy, he got a fastball out over the plate, sent it right back where it came from. Big night for Cody. Looking good at the plate. We've talked about Cody and what a streaky hitter he can be. Yeah, he's in one of his hot streaks right now.
Tell you what, pretty good night to get a bat from Cody Ross, his first career 5-hit game. Martin Prado homered his last time up. Cody doubled and scored in the second, singled, stole a base in the third, singled, scored in the fifth, singled, scored in the seventh, and a 2-out single here in the 8th. Prado's home run was his 3rd in the last 11 games. Boy, this is the formula, Bob. You got some guys who haven't really been hitting a whole lot in the first half, like Prado and Montero and Ross. You get them going, get your rotation back in order. This team might run away and hide. We're through 8. All Diamondbacks. It's 11-1 Arizona. Another special night here at Chase Field. The Diamondbacks 11 runs on 12 hits. Cody Ross a 5 for 5 night. That's a career high. Wade Miley goes 8 full innings for the first time this year. Paul Goldschmidt and Patrick Corbin named to the National League All-Star team. And the Diamondbacks ready to take the first 2 in this 3-game series against the Rockies. It'll be 4 straight wins overall. And congrats, Goldie, on your All-Star nomination and selection. And here in the 9th is Charles Brewer, the pride of Chaparral High School right here in Scottsdale.
Done a nice job in his 2 appearances so far this season. 4 hits in 3 2/3. Struck out 4 batters, only 1 walk.
Charles Brewer last pitch for the Diamondbacks June 15th. That was at San Diego. Looked good in 2 innings of work. He allowed a hit and a walk, recorded 3 strikeouts, and he showed a pretty impressive curveball, Bob, I remember, against the Padres.
Real good curve, good heavy sinking fastball. How about this, though, partner? Last 2 nights, Diamondbacks have pounded out 22 hits against the pitching staff that's given up more hits than anybody else in the National League. 11 of them for extra bases, 7 doubles, a triple, and 3 bombs.
Herrera, Gonzalez, and Kadire here in the 9th. The nice thing about the offense, Bob, is that everyone's contributed. It's, you know, we've seen stretches over the course of the year where it's had to be all Goldie, or early in the year Aaron Hill was a big guy offensively. But tonight it's been everybody. And in this series, 2-1 now. Didi walked and scored. Parra walked and scored. RBI double. Prado a homer. On down the list, Charles Brewer. 1 away. Charles at AAA Reno this season. He's appeared in 15 games, 14 starts. Gone 3-7 with an ERA near 5.5. 93 hits and just under 84 innings. And according to Elias, is the first player born in Arizona to be drafted by the Diamondbacks and make his major league debut with the D-backs. From Chaparral High School in UCLA. Cargo's had a big night, 3 for 3, including his 24th home run. Make it 4 for 4. That one gets down in the gap in left center, and here goes Carlos Gonzalez. A.J. Pollock plays it off the wall, and Cargo is in there with his 22nd double. .150 for the career.
How about Carlos Gonzalez and Cody Ross, the 2 left fielders in this game, are a combined 9 for 9.
That'll work. Michael Kadire 1 for 3, doubled in the 7th. Cody 5 for 5, his first career 5-hit game. Cargo 4 for 4. Kadire just had a Rockies record 27-game hitting streak snapped. During the streak, 42 hits. And the 27-game streak broke the old record of 23 set by his current hitting coach, Dante Bichette.
Those hitting streaks can be a little overrated. You mentioned, what do you have, 42 hits?
42 hits in 27 games.
Yeah, see, that's a good hitting streak. That's going to raise your batting average considerably. I think my longest one was 9 games. I think I had 9 hits, and my average went down.
Go, Brenly. Did Brenly get a base hit today? I don't know, Timmy. Look in the paper. Well, Kadire's now hit in 37 of his last 39 games. In fact, he's now reached base in 63 of the 67 games he's played this year. What a season. He just said the hitting streak a lot of fun. He just enjoyed the ride. Try to have good at bats. Struck him out. Two down in the ninth. Charles Brewer.
Good elevated fastball, a little extra giddy up that time. Not too many people have been throwing fastballs by Michael Kadire recently, but a good pitch there from Charles Brewer gets strike three.
I remember last night Tyler Skaggs elevated on Kadire on that exact same pitch and got him to strike out to win the fourth. Nolan Arenado. Back with you tomorrow, fans, on Fox Sports Arizona. Diamondbacks will go for the sweep of the Rockies, who came in here in second place right behind them in the NL West. Diamondbacks will extend their division lead, go for a sweep tomorrow, and then welcome in the Dodgers for 3 beginning on Monday.
Well, you never get too far ahead of yourself, but you have to like the matchup tomorrow. Patrick Corbin toeing the slab for the D-backs against veteran Roy Oswald, who's had a rough go of it in his early Rockies career. 27 hits in 16 innings, a .375 opponent's batting average.
Well, Roy's problem is he just started pitching too soon in the year. Usually he waits until about August to show up. Right field, Parra. Hang on, Gerardo. He had it all the way. And the Diamondbacks have got this one 11-1. And they've taken the first 2 games of this 3-game set over the Rockies. There is the outfield celebration we see after every Diamondback win. And it's another one here, and they extend their lead atop the National League West.
Boy, really good to see tonight. The Diamondbacks have had very few opportunities this year to just take a deep breath and relax and allow guys to go up to the plate and swing away the way they did tonight. Smiles all around.
And last night, Tyler Skaggs gave them 8 innings. Tonight, Wade Miley gave them 8 innings for the first time this year. And you go back to the last 2 games in that series against the Mets at Citi Field, and the rotation has produced 30 innings and given up only 5 earned. And now it's a 4.5 game lead for these Diamondbacks. They've won 4 in a row.
Great to see the starting pitching step up the way they have, and great to see the offense bust out the way they have the last couple of days.
Home runs from Paul Goldschmidt, his 21st, Martin Prado, his 8th, and Miguel Montero, his 6th of the year. Kirk Gibson's team now leads the division by 4.5. Todd Walsh, and we'll see you back here tomorrow for the sweep.
You got it, Steve. We'll see you and Bob in just a couple of moments on D-Backs Live. I'm Todd Walsh, as you mentioned, along with our special guest analyst, Junior Spivey. And Junior, before we take a break and get ready for the show, as I told you, the post-game show is a fluid situation. It is your show, essentially. You get the call for the A block, the top of the show. Will it be Wade Miley going deep, the All-Star Paul Goldschmidt going deep, or Cody Ross in the 5-hit game? Junior, you tell us.
That's pretty easy. It has to be Cody Ross. Been a member of the 5-hit club.
Okay.
I can talk about that a little bit.
And there you have it. 2-time member of the 5-hit club, Junior Spivey. So we'll take a break. We'll get set. We'll come back here to Chase Field. We hope you come along as well for the ride. Diamondbacks win the series. They win this game 11-1. When we come back, we'll break it down. We'll hear from Cody Ross and other members of the Diamondbacks. Diamondbacks Live around the corner here on Fox Sports Arizona. We'll see you in just a couple of moments.